There are many items in the PC Client program that are displayed in a grid. Just one example of things that are displayed in a grid are a contact list, and here I can see a name, a street, suburb, email, etc. All of these grids that appear in various sections of PC Client can be set up in admin using base grid configuration. What you first need to understand about base grid configuration is the absolute basics, and to do that we will look at this contact list and we'll go through each of the basics. Firstly, allowing column sorting. If you tick this on, then that means within the program a user can click on a column heading and it will sort the data based on the attributes in that. If you tick it off, it won't allow column sorting. Allow moving of columns. If you tick that on, that will allow a user to grab a column and reposition it somewhere else. So if you wish to have a fixed system that the user in the field cannot change, tick that off. Allow column resizing. If that is ticked on, it allows a user to make columns larger or smaller. If it is ticked on, if it's ticked off, then that resizing cannot be done. Next is the field chooser, where you can choose the fields that a rep can see. And what you need to understand is the H, M, O and V. There is a little key down the bottom, but what it's actually saying is if it's ticked on for H, that column here is hidden, so it never appears over here on the PC Client program. If it is mandatory, and if I click, for example, name on to be mandatory, then on PC Client the name column would be mandatory and the rep would be unable to tick that column off. It would display all the time. Next we have optional and visible. And optional and visible purely mean if it is optional, it appears in the list where a rep can select it, and I'll do that again. So you can click on this over here to see the list of columns that can be shown. And then I can tick things on and off by ticking them on if on PC Client I have them as optional. If they are mandatory, they appear in the list, but the rep is unable to tick those selections off. So a combination of hiding the column so it's not available, making some columns mandatory so they must appear, giving the user options as to whether to see those fields or not, will determine the grid that a rep sees.